Hey, YouTube, it's Ashton. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I think this is working. Hi. So it's been a while. It's been quite a while. But so God, I'm all over the place this morning. Sorry, it's Sunday morning. I just got up. So yeah. Um, I'm actually making a video because I would like some suggestions on where to move. I'm gonna be graduating in a year, hopefully. Knocking on wood. All goes as planned, and I don't fail any of my classes, which isn't a given in engineering, unfortunately, so we'll see. So ideally, I'll be graduating in a year, and then hopefully heading out somewhere after I save up enough money, which I'm not sure how long it'll take me to do that. I guess I might be able to get a good job, but it really depends. And, I certainly don't have the money to move anywhere right now. Hopefully that'll change over the next year or so. Oh, yeah, I got my nose pierced. Check it out. It's all kind of red and irritated right now because my body hates getting pierced. Gets all pissed at me. It's like, why? And then, so hopefully that'll stop being all red soon. Anyways, yeah. So, I've been doing well lately. I've been doing really well. I've just been doing summer classes, which, as per usual, I always take summer classes. It's funny, I actually realized when I was thinking about it the other day that I've taken summer classes every single summer since I've been in undergrad. So I'll have taken, let's see, I think five summers worth of summer classes. So yeah, so by the time I finish my degree, I'll have taken like literally 6 straight years of classes, like with no more than a few weeks break. But that's, I mean, like it can be a pain in the ass, but at the same time, at least having the same structure helps and not helps to keep my mind fresh, especially with engineering courses and especially with all the like higher level math courses I'm taking. That can be really handy. So yeah, I had a 4 week speech course that I took from the beginning of June to the end of June, and then an 8 week Calc 4 class that I'm still taking right now that started in June and is going to end at the end of July. So yeah, the first month of my of that was like crazy because I was taking the two at the same time, and it was just like holy shit. Like I would wake up at 8 to go to the math lab to work on my homework because my professor is ultra picky about grading. He's like the pickiest like professor when it comes to grading that I've ever had, at least in a math class. So I'd go an hour before class to work on homework, and then I'd go to class from like 9:30 to 11. Then I'd come home and eat lunch and work on speech homework, and then I would go to my speech class from 2 to 5, and then I would come home and eat dinner, and then I would work on calc homework some more. So, and that's pretty much all I did for those 4 weeks. So it was kind of intense. But things are a little easier now that the speech class is over, so that's nice. Yeah, and actually I wound up doing really well in speech class and it made me really happy. I really challenged myself to do speeches on topics that are really important to me and topics that were challenging to talk about, like growing up queer in the South and victim blaming as a part of rape culture and things like that. So yeah, I mean, it's like talking to a bunch of like ultra straight people in my class about like all my feelings about growing up queer in the South, and just. But I'm really glad that I did it. It was really cool, and people in the class actually seemed to be really cool about it, and like a lot of them were pretty nice to me and like said really nice things. So that was really cool. So, and I know I am jumping around topics all over the place in this video already. um, but yeah, it's really nice lately that I've been, now that I've been in this place for a little while where I feel like I've been healing from, all sorts of shit over the last couple of years. I'm in a place where I can actually really push myself to do things that I wouldn't have been able to do before. And that's really cool. and it's really been a really healing and cool experience to do that. Okay, so back to the main point of this video, which is moving places. So yeah, I am just casting a really wide ass net right now. And I just need to come up with like a list of cities that I'm thinking about, and just see where it goes from there. So, so I'll just go with like, I'll talk about my needs for where I want to move and then like my wants. And if you guys have any suggestions, just throw them at me. Like, I don't care. Just throw them at me. Like, I'll look it up, I'll do some research, figure out how I feel about the place, etc., etc. I just need some suggestions because I'm going to be graduating in a year and I've got to figure out what in the hell I'm going to do, where I'm going to go, how I'm going to get there, how I'm going to pay to get there, etc., etc. Yeah. Okay. So, alright. So first on my list of needs is I really need to live in a place where the queer community gives a shit about feminism and intersectional anti-oppression movements. So, that means a queer community that cares about racism and transphobia and misogyny, and trans misogyny. So yeah, that's really, really important to me. That is like of utmost fucking importance because no one here gives a shit and I can't deal with it anymore. Like, I just can't. Ugh. Especially, Jesus Christ, white queer people who are racist as fuck in the South all over the place. And I just, like, I can't. I gotta go. I'm just like, I can't deal with people here anymore. I'm just not compatible with this place. So yeah, so that's the biggest thing. That is the absolute biggest thing. That is the most important to me by far. Is just to have a community that really cares about talking about those issues and working on them and, being accountable for them, and holding each other accountable, etc., etc., and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's my biggest thing. Um, I'd probably prefer like a medium-sized city. I don't know that I would want to live in like, I don't think I could really live in New York City. I don't think that would really be my style. I don't know though. I've never visited, but I don't know. It just seems huge and kind of exhausting. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, but as of now, I think I'd prefer to like live in a medium-ish size city, um, and not one that's just like massive. Good public transportation would be great. Bike lanes would be especially great. I don't really bike anywhere now, but I'd really like to start. I'd really like to move somewhere that's a more accessible, venture. So yeah, so medium-sized, um, hopefully bike-friendly or other public transportation. If I could go carless, that would be really cool. I don't know how I feel about that. I've never done that, so I don't know. Obviously, just generally being queer friendly, gay and trans friendly is really important to me. So if you guys live somewhere that sounds like, some of the things that it might click with me, tell me what it's like, especially if you're visibly queer. Do you feel safe there? What is your community like? Do you feel supported? Etc., etc. And then, as far as my list of wants go, it's pretty short. If I could live near mountains, I would be extraordinarily happy. I love mountains more than like anything. I don't give a shit about beaches compared to mountains. Like, I love mountains. I love looking at them, being in them, hiking on them, snowboarding on them, like, I love mountains. So yeah, if I could live somewhere where I could wake up and see mountains, that would be incredible. Or just just somewhere within a couple of hours drive of a mountain range and with places like skiing and stuff, that would be great. So a couple of the places I have in mind already are like, Portland, Seattle, Denver. I'd love to hear from people in Denver because I can't really get a sense of what exactly that place is like. I know that it's pretty outdoorsy, which is great. I would love that. I would love to be to live somewhere where people enjoy doing outdoorsy stuff, especially queer communities, because here people just drink, and that's it. Period. The end. That's all the, yeah. So, um, yeah. So that would be great. So yeah, Portland, Seattle, Denver. Obviously, the Bay Area, but a lot of those places are just so expensive that it just wouldn't be feasible for me to move there anytime soon, unless I just got like an incredible job right out of college, which I really don't. I don't know. I don't. That's probably not that likely, and I don't know what the likelihood is of it, so I don't really want to like put my eggs in those baskets, if that makes sense. But they're on my list, but they're probably not feasible for right now. So yeah, yeah. That's about it as far as moving places. But yeah, I've just been doing really well. I've had a couple of friends come in. It's really funny because they were actually acquaintances before this summer that I kind of knew a bunch of people who also knew them, just like friends of friends of friends. Um, and they all went to colleges on the East and West Coast. And we actually reconnected through Tumblr of all things. We somehow all wound up finding each other, and they've come back for the summer, and we've just like formed this amazing like little southern queer group, and it's been so cool. It's been so great to be in a group of people who care about the same things I do, like just like I was talking about intersectional anti-oppression movements, like who care about, oh god, to be around white queer people who give a shit about racism and understand and are willing to be held accountable and want to talk about it and want to like work their own white privilege shit out and want to work on, making safer communities, and just like, it's been so good to talk to them. And talking about just everything from racism to fat phobia to misogyny to trans misogyny, to transphobia to being visibly queer in the South, and how the South is different from, the places they go to school now. And it's been so great. Like, I absolutely love them. And it's funny, we've, only really been talking, in person for, as long as the summer has been going on, but we all already just feel really close to each other. Um, and that's really great. Been it's been wonderful. It's been something that I've needed for a very long time, to have a sense of community with people, and I do with them. And that's just been really great. It's been like wonderful and healing and just really beautiful. So yeah, um, I guess that's it. Oh gosh, this video is already 13 minutes long. Sorry guys. Yeah, so I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go to Starbucks and study, because that's my life. Calc 4, all day, every day, baby. Yeah, so, yeah. I hope everyone out there is doing well. And of course, my condolences to anyone in the Denver area, or anyone who knew anyone in that area who was a victim of the shooting. And also on a, well, not more serious, but sort of as serious but more personal note, I really want to send out my condolences to anyone who knew Leo. He's a trans guy that and it's interesting, I never actually talked to him personally, but I saw, over the last 5 years, I've seen so many of his posts on LiveJournal back in the day, and then Tumblr, and he killed himself a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, so that's my condolences to anyone who knew him and is grieving his loss. That's, you know, it's just, it's just terrible. Um, so yeah, I guess ending on a not so happy note. But yeah, I hope that everyone out there is doing well. Take care of yourself, you guys. All right.